Hello everyone, I am Renee from the Science Schoolyard and I am here today to talk with you about gingerbread. I remember when I was a little girl, my grandma would make gingerbread and I'd be able to decorate it and we'd read the story and put those gingerbread in the oven and we'd think, is it going to run away and as fast as it can? I remember thinking what a cool story as a kid and how I could connect to it as an adult now and bring that to my students in their classroom with that wonderful option of the gingerbread man and so many different varieties of books. I love the gingerbread baby for my kindergarteners who we build houses for. Now this year, as we look at doing things independently and not so much with food, we used to use little gumdrops or we'd use little marshmallows to make our gingerbread houses. However, this year we make our gingerbread houses a little bit different. I pack up individual bags for my students with lots of goodies in them. I use the same things quite often over and over again. So inside a bag, I will put 4 of these toilet paper rolls. I will put index cards in different sizes. I would put paper in there. I put a paper plate. I might put some blocks in there. I even might just grab some of the tissue from school. And again, just different things to give students option to make a gingerbread house. I also, as I work my way up with my first graders, we are working on the idea of balance, and we make our gingerbread man a boat to be able to balance on and put some weights on to be able to see how many pennies we can get in our boat without it sinking. So we often give them just a little bucket of water. I give them a little gingerbread man to decorate up, and then I give them different supplies like straws. I might give them some tongue depressors. I might just give them all a piece of aluminum foil and then have them make a boat out of it to be able to float our gingerbread on. Now, it's so easy just to kind of crinkle up. The bigger the boat that they make, the more pennies they usually fit on, just like a big boat can fit more passengers on, like a pontoon versus a kayak. And so we put our little gingerbread, I have them make their own little gingerbread, we fit them on there and we see if he can float and stay dry. And so we talk a little bit about solids and liquids with my third graders and my second graders as we work on the idea of water as well as solids and liquids. So when we do that, we step it up a little bit. We do different activities to build different things that the gingerbread man could use out of the solids that we have in our FOSS science kits. We also utilize bridge building. We make a bridge for the gingerbread man to go over. We use recyclables at home. I do teach virtual as well as in class. Our virtual kiddos are able to make a gingerbread man out of paper that they have at home that we send home with the art packs, and they are able to make their gingerbread. And then the great thing about kids that are virtual with you, they can grab things that they have around the house, and we call that a STEM scavenger hunt or a science scavenger hunt. We could go, okay, go grab things around your house that will allow you to build then the different things that you're building, whether or not you're building a boat, whether you're building a bridge. And it is amazing what the kids come up with the different things that they can find in their recycle bin or in their cupboards. And so it's been really fun to be able to watch their creativity shine as they move through these activities. So I do have some really cool packs that I use. I actually give them this activity and I screenshot mine and I put it in Seesaw. And then they're able to draw on them. Oftentimes that is how we are able to get my students different sheets that I normally have been able to print and give them. Now I am actually able to give them on a different platform. And so we might talk about what houses need and what we have in our homes to connect with, and structures and functions, and how what we need to be able to survive. Though my favorite thing with my littles, whether it be my first graders or my kindergartners, is living versus non-living. And it's such a great example of something that's really supposed to be non-living actually having living characteristics. And so we go through what's the difference between something living and non-living. So again, tying in that science, tying in science observations where you can demonstrate an activity like, hey, I have some gingerbread cookies. What would happen if it did get wet and it fell in the water and needed that ride by fox? And you can take a dropper and have students see what it's like with a little cookie and see how it dissolves and kind of melts away, and the difference between solids and liquids as a review in science. In another activity we do in with gingerbread is test, and I demonstrate this one in my classes as I get with my older kids. What happens when we put a gingerbread man in oil or milk or water, and we see what happens to the gingerbread in different types of liquids. So again, solids and liquids as a review. And so there's so many different really fun things that you can do to bring in a theme like Gingerbread Man. You can review your story mapping. Who does the gingerbread man meet? You can talk about greater and less than, and we do gingerbread men with our little activities like measurement, and I even give my kiddos little gingerbread men to measure, and we see who is taller, who is wider. We, with my littles, review letter sounds. We do some fun things with this on my smart board, and I place some activities there, and we look around and we help the gingerbread man learn. We even have a really cool die cut that we use. Everyone gets to make their own gingerbread man to put in the oven and see if he'll run as fast as he can. So again, grab a really great version, your favorite, of the Gingerbread Man. I use what's on Epic Books because there's some really great versions there for some of my older kiddos in first and second and third grade. I use Gingerbread Baby, which is from Janet, let's see here, I'm trying to think, Jan Brett, right? And she writes a really good version for Gingerbread Baby. So you make a house for the baby. So just some great ideas on how to use something like the Gingerbread Man to tie in STEM, tie in science, and be able to bring in your reading as well as math. So have fun with the Gingerbread Man, and thank you for joining me here in the Science Schoolyard as we try to make science and STEM child's play. Thank you once again for joining me, and have fun.